What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. So let me let you guys know what's probably about to happen. All right, it's Thursday right now, and so by Saturday, the United States of Israel will be attacking Iran. Okay, and probably around that time, maybe Friday, more Epstein files will be released, or more revelations from the Epstein files that further implicate Donald Trump. If you have not noticed, Donald Trump has simultaneously been escalating wars and conflict as more and more information of his involvement with Jeffrey Epstein comes out. Right now, the play is America's pretending like it's trying to negotiate with Iran, right, for a nuclear deal. But the thing is, before Donald Trump came in, we had a nuclear deal with Iran. Barack Obama made an historic deal with Iran that the entire world agreed with, and it was historic. It did everything that we wanted it to do. But because Donald Trump is a narcissistic, racist piece of trash, and he also is subjugated to Israel and Russia, they destroyed that deal, right? And now they want to pretend like they want a new deal, right? Now, Israel is using Donald Trump while he still has power to conduct their foreign policy the way they want to conduct. Every war that we fought in the Middle East is on behalf of Israel. Every single one. Every American soldier that's ever died in the Middle East have died on behalf of Israel. I just want y'all to know that. This is the truth. All right? Except for Afghanistan. Afghanistan is about opium. All right? Afghanistan is opium wars 2.0. Because in Afghanistan, it's the only place you can grow opium. Opium only grows in two places. All right? Now you can read between these big ass lines if you want. All right? Opium grows in Afghanistan, and opium grows in Southeast Asia like Cambodia and Vietnam. Okay. Okay. So that's what that was. That's just drug war. All right. And don't think we didn't leave Afghanistan. All right. Okay, they told you that. But anyway, so Israel has a plan to create greater Israel, which is they want a bigger country, right? But that's going to put them on the border of Iran. They need to weaken and destroy Iran. So Iran, because they're not necessarily good guys either, right? Iran used to have a wonderful government. We had great relationships with Iran until the Ayatollah, Islam, right, took over, deposed the monarchs there, and then started, I think they're Shia, right? And so you got Iran and Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is Sunni, right? So the Shia Muslims and the Sunni Muslims, right, the two big countries with the two big Islamic sects, two different denominations of Islam, they fight each other via proxies of militias and various other things, right? So any conflict you see happening in the Middle East and Eastern Africa, where all those black people who worship Islam and Muslims and in Arabism, right? All of that, all the chaos and fighting has to do with Iran, the Shia, and Saudi Arabia, the Sunni Muslims, fighting over territory, over historical differences, over access to resources, because both those countries really ain't got too much resources, right? They're in the desert, all right? So they need to stretch out. So they sponsor what we call terrorists, all right? See, in America, when we do it, we call them militias or paramilitaries or private militaries. That's our word for it. When the Arabs do it, it's called terrorists, okay? Like the Taliban used to be a militia group because we created the Taliban to fight the Russians, right? But then we called them terrorists when we abandoned them, right? Left them to their own devices, then came back and attacked them. And then we called them terrorists, right? You got to understand there's a lot of wordplay going on. So Israel wants greater Israel. And they know that right now, usually the American presidents, they will, they'll pander somewhat to Israel, but there was always a limit. But Donald Trump, you got to understand, everything happening right now is all Donald Trump's fault. He moves the American embassy to Jerusalem, right? He's the one who started. Y'all got to understand, when Donald Trump is gone and somebody does a full docu, you see how destructive Donald Trump has actually been by aggravating these conflicts. Like, seriously, he's the one who started the whole Palestinian thing. He started all of that. That was all Donald Trump. He's the one who upended agreements that we had going on. We was when Obama was in office, we were in a good place. Obama was a very effective leader. Oh, another thing, for those who are not politically aware, Obama is not the one who killed Gaddafi. You're being intellectually lazy. Obama was not the one who was leading the UN, United Nations, NATO coalition to dethrone Gaddafi. That was a French-led NATO coalition. The only reason we were involved because we have to via NATO charter. Anytime a NATO goes to war, does anything, we have to help. We did a limited amount of help. All we did was use air power. We used our air defenses to protect whoever was on the ground. We used our air defenses to back up other militias or terrorist groups, whatever you want to call them, other private militaries or non-governmental militaries, however you want to call it, to depose Gaddafi. Now, Gaddafi was not a good guy. All right, just because he wore a couple black face shirts, and Gaddafi, he did it. Gaddafi was a murderer. He was a killer of many people. He committed genocide. Gaddafi was not just great Arab savior that was going to come save black people. Gaddafi was an Arab dude who did like black people, but he was a dictator and he was a mass murderer. You understand? There's no good guys here. Y'all got to understand. There is no good. So stop worshiping Gaddafi as if he had all African people's best interests at heart. No, he did not. Okay? He would have been another Arab overlording over Africans when it's Africans who need to overlord over ourselves. All right? But back to what's happening now. So by Friday night, by Saturday, when everybody's entertaining themselves because they're stressed out on the week, that's when we'll start dropping massive amount of bombs and destabilizing Iran. Because Iran, the people of Iran, they want to depose the Ayatollah because nobody wants to live under Sharia law. It's slavery. All right? Sharia law is anti-intellectual. It's anti-civilization. It's terrible. All right? And the Ayatollahs, all those Muslims who act like, oh, you gotta cater to these strict laws. All their children are flying jet set and spending the Iranians' money, having a ball with their mansions and their private jets and eating pork and drinking alcohol. They're doing all that shit. So everybody's a hypocrite in this game, right? But over the weekend, you're gonna see us bombing. We've been setting it up. These negotiations, there was never no negotiations. America's not negotiating. They're pretending to negotiate. The same way Russia is pretending to negotiate Ukraine. All right, that's what's happening there. It's a pretend negotiation when they have all intentions on destroying it. The same reason, all right, Russia is trying to take territory of Ukraine is the same reason the United States of Israel is trying to take territory and destabilize Iran. Because if they can destabilize Iran and then they can give them democracy, meaning put in Israeli-backed and approved politicians that will cater to Israel in Iran. Just like there are Islamic militias that cater to Iran because they are against the people who are currently in charge. It's real complicated. All right. Like I said, there's no good guys in any of this because everything that we're doing now by bullying Iran does this to Iraq. Iran does this to Yemen. Saudi Arabia does this to Libya. Like I'm telling you, this shit right here is complicated, all right? But the people who are going to be most affected are the ones who are innocent. The innocent people who just want to live their lives. And that's always the biggest victim in this situation, is the people who have nothing to do with any of this, who are about to be dying. Because rich Arabs and rich white people must continue to consume like the bacterial viruses that they are. All right? Because they're not civilized. Name me a civilized Arab or European nation in history. You can't. You can't. They're all barbaric, savage, warmongering cults. All of them. And their religions are savage, barbaric, warmongering cults. All of it. You can't name me a time of peace where these Europeans and these Arabs. You can't. These guys have been fighting since the Crusades. And a lot of these Arabs are European by heritage, by DNA. If you look at the Arabs that's in charge, they look quite European, don't they? The original Arabs were dark-skinned black people. I've been there. I know what they look like. And they are not in charge. The people who are in charge are the ones who are part of the former crusades that came over and over and over the last couple thousand years. You're talking about 1,000 years of these Europeans and these Arabs, right? And Arabs ain't nothing but a group of mixed mulattoes because they're just a mix of black, Asian, and African. That's what they are. That's why you can't find no Arab history because there is no Arab history. They're the bastard childs of great nations, right? And they've been fighting Europe. They had their new version of the Abrahamic religion of Christianity. And if you notice, within Christianity, all they do is fight each other under the guise of peace. But yet you ain't never seen no peace with any of these two religions ever. And they don't know how to interact with each other. at all. And for those who think they know anything about history, that time where, where a lot of Muslims say, oh, there used to be an enlightenment period, that was a different kind of Islam. That was different. That's not what you see here. All right. Those people were black Africans who were practicing a primordial form of Islam, more akin to Sufism. All right. Which is more of an African spiritual traditional religious system that has been bastardized by the Arabs, but we going too deep here. Right. But just know that we're about to start dropping taxpayer American, we ain't got no money for farms. We ain't got no money to house you. We ain't got no money to take care of our kids. We ain't got no money to lower the prices of groceries. We ain't got none of that. But we got money to go kill some Arabs. We got money for that. We always got money for that. All right? So pay attention. Oh, yeah, and the Epstein files, that shit about to get wild. If it ain't as wild now, it's about to get wild now. Anyway, I hope this gave you a little clarification of what's about to happen, why it's about to happen, and why you should not pick sides either way. And the only people you should feel bad for are the innocent people that's about to die. All those innocent babies. Listen, all those innocent babies that's about to die. Just like all those tens of thousands of innocent babies that died in Palestine. All for the war criminal Benjamin Netanyahu and his puppet, Donald J. Trump. Anyway, that's all I got to say. This is Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach them. I'm out.
A massive U.S. military buildup is underway right here in the Middle East. Even as the U.S. and Iran are back at the negotiating table, it's clear the United States is preparing for possible military action. Over the course of the last month, more than 250 U.S. military cargo planes have landed in theater, based on a CNN review of flight data. That's a significant uptick in activity, which suggests some of these flights are tied to preparations for potential operations against Iran. That number also includes flights to U.S. bases in Europe, which have traditionally supported U.S. military operations in the Middle East. Those flights involve cargo planes that can carry everything from personnel to vehicles to heavy equipment like air defense systems that we know the United States is deploying in the Middle East. Satellite imagery is also giving us a look at the U.S.'s more muscular posture in the Middle East. This is Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, the U.S.'s largest in the Middle East. A month ago, you can see 16 planes on the tarmac. A few weeks later, there are 29 planes, including 7 C-17 cargo planes and 17 KC-135 tankers. Those tankers are used to refuel jets mid-flight, a critical component of any air assault on Iran. At this airbase in Jordan, 12 F-15 fighter jets recently appeared in satellite imagery. We've also identified the deployment of Patriot air defense systems at that large U.S. airbase in Qatar. These would be critical to protecting U.S. assets in the region in the event of Iranian strikes. The U.S. also has plenty of naval assets in the region. A U.S. aircraft carrier and 3 warships arrived in the Middle East last month. A second aircraft carrier strike group is also now on its way. But this is just what we can see from publicly available information. The last time the U.S. struck Iran in June, we also saw a big buildup of military force in Europe and the Middle East. But it was 7 B-2 stealth bombers that delivered the biggest blow in Iran, according to the Pentagon. Those flew in undetected from the United States.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan.
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.